Side Project Live. Sorry that we are running a little bit late here, but a couple technical problems, but that seems to be the case for this show. But it's surprisingly not the technical problems I thought they were.
It's kind of your gimmick, Jim. Your gimmick for the show is technical problems. You have to run with that.
Yeah, no kidding. And we're having Lex Zorn will not be joining us today because him and his daughter have got a big movie audition going on today. So they got that, and we're trying to get Eric on the line here, but for some reason we were not able to hear him. And you notice I didn't have any intro music today. That's because I'm doing things a little bit differently this morning, and that is I am doing all of this stuff through Linux. If anyone out there is listening to us on radiofubar.com, please let me know if you can hear us. Like I said, I'm setting this up on Linux, and I might have to do a few more little tweaks on this thing to get things working properly. But there you go. I'd like to welcome back to the show. We have Brian Scott Lambrecht. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me, Jim. I love being here. I love doing this show with you. This is fun stuff.
Yeah, and I know your Facebook page and all of that. You use your middle name Scott, which actually is my brother's middle name. Before the show, we were having a little bit of banter here about how alike we are, and we were both talking about our love for unsweetened iced tea. and you know what I like, and I found is good, but you really watch it. Is I like just straight up tea, no sugar or anything, but every now and then, with tea, whether black or green or whatever, I'll sometimes put some ground cinnamon in there and maybe some fresh ground ginger.
I do. You know what I do? I do the same exact thing. When I make iced tea, I'll go to, when I'm at Whole Foods, I'll either pick up some cinnamon sticks. I just made a batch of cinnamon green tea yesterday, so I boil some water. I throw in some green tea, let it steep, and I throw in a couple cinnamon sticks. But this week was cinnamon. Probably next week I got some more blueberry I'm going to make, and then probably the week after that I'm going to pick up some fresh ginger. You peel it, chop it up, you let it steep in there for about 5-6 minutes, and then you got ginger tea all week, and that stuff's got some good healthy properties to it.
Oh, Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know anything about the healthy properties of anything. I don't care if garlic is good for you, or ginger, or cinnamon, or whatever. Hey, as long as it tastes good, man, it's going in my body.
Well, I gave up. Sugar tastes really well, and I gave up sugar about 1.5 years ago. I miss sugar greatly. I have cheats every 6 to 8 weeks, maybe. But I gotta tell you, not having sugar, I sleep a lot better. I have a hell of a lot more energy. I don't get headaches anymore.
Really? From getting rid of sugar?
Getting rid of sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Now that means that, there's like a little bit of sugar. You can't, I started making my own pizza sauce because every pizza sauce has sugar in it. Sugar's in bread. You need bread as part of the, to activate the yeast. There's no problem with that. I understand that, but I won't buy ragu or Prego pasta sauce anymore. I buy other options that don't have sugar in it. And with the exception of like allergy sinuses, I don't get headaches anymore. I don't. It's been the best year. It's been worth it to me. And whenever I do have a cheat day with sugar, I pay for it. My stomach is aggravated, my body's aggravated, and I feel weird for like a day or two afterwards. And maybe I will get a headache. And you can still pull off a cheat day very well. If I'm going to cheat, it's got to be a giant brownie with a fresh scoop of ice cream, and it's got to be drizzled. Like, if you're going to cheat, you're going to do it right. You're not just going to have Chips Ahoy. It's like, no, we're going to go higher class over here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're gonna go all the way, you might as well do it right.
Yeah, and I do love unsweetened iced tea because I can't. Aside from fruit juice, I'll drink like orange juice. I'll get carbohydrates that way through orange juice and like grape juice. I love that stuff. But because I gave up sugar, I gave up sugar cereal. Now I miss Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That was some good stuff. God.
Yeah, sugared cereal is one of my addictions, much to my wife's chagrin. I've been known to polish, go for a midnight snack and polish off the whole box every now and then.
Oh yeah, Captain Crunch don't stand a chance against me. If bring the gallon into my office, I got my laptop articles to read, and I can polish off that whole box right there. Trix is nothing. Trix is like a midnight snack. But that's the thing. I had to give it up, and then I just stopped drinking milk because what am I having milk with? Sugar cereal or chocolate milk? All right, well, I'm not having sugar, so
Yep.
I lost a lot of weight. So I do miss those things, but overall, it's not. Whatever. I'm happy you're not having headaches. I'm happy. I don't get sick. I didn't get the flu or strep throat or cold this winter. I got nothing.
Yeah,
So.
I barely get the flu. I get a cold once a winter usually. A couple years ago, I went the entire winter without getting a cold, and I've only gotten strep throat once in the last 10 years, and actually it was last year. And you really don't want to know the circumstances of how I got that strep throat, but yeah, there you go. But yeah, one thing with the medications that I'm on for my depression and ADD is it has reduced the number of like stress headaches that I get. So I mean that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. While you're talking, I'm gonna change the lighting in this room.
Sure, not a problem. So I sometimes wonder about the efficacy about what it's supposed to do and that, but for the most part, I think that whole thing's been a positive experience for me, and I should probably change the lighting here, but I don't have much. You know what? I do have something I could do if I had a place to put it, but oh well. There you go. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I want to look good for your show. I don't want to look like a schmuck. I want to be good.
Yeah, I'm wearing my hiking hat, and this has been since we got back from Arizona. This has been kind of my thing right now. Yeah, protect your ears from the sun, especially when you're in the Grand Canyon and in Phoenix.
Hats. Hats, they protect you. They make you look cooler than you really are. They give you a style. They give you a sense of purpose. I have like 15 different hats. This is actually a top hat from the 1920s, 1930s, given to me by a friend's grandma.
Oh, wow.
I don't really wear this out. You normally see me when I'm wearing my Gambler, my black Gambler.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a nice hat. This is actually kind of a classic antique hat. This doesn't leave the house, but I'm not leaving the house to do radio today. So.
Hey, it's Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I need to. I wish I had it right here on my Linux partition, but to break into a rendition of Tacos Putting on the Ritz.
That should be your theme.
Actually, I was thinking about contacting Weird Al, seeing if I could use his song "Fun Zone" for our theme. It's the only song he's ever done that's got absolutely no lyrics whatsoever. He actually wrote it as a theme song for a TV show that was supposed to be a replacement for Saturday Night Live, but they renewed Saturday Night Live, so there you go. The song can be heard briefly in the movie UHF, though, at one point. So
you do know your Weird Al trivia.
I love Weird Al, and I wasn't really looking forward to his last album, but I'm really looking forward to his new one, which drops in 3 days, by the way. Mm-hmm. And
I'll be in Springfield with what we're talking about, but I am going to grab a copy of it in Springfield. And then it comes out in vinyl in August, and I'll probably grab a vinyl copy.
We don't have a vinyl player. I wish we could get one because I got a few albums downstairs that I would love to transfer over to cassette. I want to get one of those things where you can automatically transfers cassette to MP3 or whatever. Really, if you just got a Walkman and an in-out cable and Audacity on your PC, you're good to go. But hey, we do have a topic that we were trying to talk about here this morning, and as everybody knows. The one thing I like about the headset with the microphone is, unlike the boom mic that I have here, which just isn't, couldn't get it to work on my Linux partition today, is that, I can lean back like this and, just be really, really comfortable and not have to worry about speaking up because my level is really at a consistent rate. But for those who know, state of Illinois, LP, Libertarian Party, we've been going through petition drive season, and we got almost double the number of petitions that we need. Petition signatures, I should say, rather. And so what's happening is, surprise, surprise, the Republican Party, and we actually found out, I believe, we'll talk about that later. The Republican Party has challenged us, and wasn't it originally under the name Concerned Citizen or something?
It's always under Concerned Citizen. It's a bunch of garbage. And and my whole take on the Concerned Citizen is if you're somebody who's really concerned about Illinois, you're a few decades too late and you're looking at the wrong party. So to me, it doesn't fly.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that with the challenges that are going on currently, is that the way I understand it, the Democrats are challenging the Green Party,
Yeah.
and if they're worried about the Green Party and the Republicans are worried about the Libertarian Party, if we allowed both those if they didn't challenge us, what I would think the net effect on the elections would be the same whether they challenged us or not.
Yes, well, there's a couple things. There's also the Constitution Party. And the Republicans are trying to get rid of the Constitution Party. There's a few things here that are important. The Green Party, the Constitution Party, and the Libertarian Party are the three third parties that are battling against Republicans and Democrats to get on the ballot. There's also independent candidates, and they do not last long. I met some of these guys, and they were just getting torn to shreds at the hearing last week at the State Board of Elections downtown in Chicago. The independents do not stand a chance. They won't even – they don't fly. They get accused of fraud. Same things we're getting accused of, which I'll get into in a minute. Do you want me to kind of go into the story of it?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Last week we had a hearing downtown at the State Board of Elections. The only person, usually we have weeks and weeks to plan this. Whatever changed the rules, we got zero time, we got zero notice. So the only candidate who was able to go and represent all 7 candidates was Ben Coyle, who is our candidate for Attorney General. Ben Coyle is from Downers Grove. We just marched in a parade in Downers Grove on Independence Day, and he had a big banner. He was all set, and Chris Michael, candidate for Secretary of State, was there riding around on a bike. Which, by the way, if you want to see photos of this, go to DuPageLibertarians.org. Our candidate for Secretary of State, Chris Michael, he was there with one of his sons, Joshua, and the two of them whipped around on their bikes throughout the whole thing. They were getting cheers. We had a pickup truck with Sharon Hansen, our candidate for U.S. Senate, sitting in the back, and Matt Skopek, who is actually the state chair, and he is also our candidate for treasurer for Illinois. So the 4 of us marched in Downers Grove, and that was on Friday, Independence Day, and literally the day before, on Thursday, all the candidates were receiving 55-pound boxes. I think it cost $30 to $40 each for certified mail to deliver this. It's a giant stack of paper that they were all sent about our challenges, and they were told, hey, we know it's Thursday, we know it's a 3-day holiday weekend, you need to come in on Monday to the State Board of Elections. Well, the problem with Libertarian candidates is we're all working people. We're not career politicians. It's not like, oh, we can just cancel this speech or move up that event and show up. So of all 7 candidates and anybody in the party, the only people who were able to attend was Ben Coyle, because he works downtown, he's a lawyer, he's kind of got his own hours, and me, and I'm nobody important in the party. So, but I was there, I took some pictures, and I did my best to understand the lawyers speak, and they gave us 1 week to prepare for our defense in Springfield. Now this was last Monday was the hearing, which means 2 days from now, on Monday, July 14th, we have to be at the State Board of Elections downtown in Springfield to defend our signatures. We turned in, and I'll back up a little bit, the 3 other parties that are competing here, Constitution Party, Green Party, Libertarian Party. I may be getting the numbers wrong, but the Constitution Party, I think, turned in about 31,000, and the Green Party, I think, turned in 33 or 34,000. We turned in 44,000. We have a very large margin of...
if I might correct you, isn't it 49,000?
No, somebody got that number wrong. It's actually just under 44,000. And when I say just under, by like 10 or 12 signatures, but it's roughly 44,000. I've seen the number fluctuate, but it's 44,000 roughly.
It's still quite a bit more than what we need.
We needed 25,000, so that gave us a very large margin to play with. They gave us, what, 18,000, 19,000 more. And the idea is they're going to challenge us, and they did. Now, the Republican Party feels that, the Constitution Party takes votes from them, and the Libertarian Party. In Illinois, the Libertarian Party actually gets 1.5 votes from Democrats per every 1 vote from Republicans. We take more votes from Democrats in Illinois. They don't know this, and this is kind of working to our advantage, and I'll explain this because you and your listeners may not know this little tidbit, but I'll get to that in a second. So, obviously, Democrat Party wants to get rid of the Green Party because they're very aligned. I mean, socialists love socialists, so they work together very well. And the Constitution Party, there's a lot of things that I like about them. In Illinois, there really is no conservative representation, but when your candidate for comptroller shows up at an event, comptroller, and talks about how he believes that marriage is between a man and a woman,
Mm-hmm.
And this is your comptroller candidate, something that has nothing to do with that, and you're doing that to get attention. That's pretty sad. So
Yeah.
so the Constitution Party wants to run against the Republicans.
Yeah, I honestly think the Republican Party has more to worry about from the Constitution Party than the Libertarian Party, because the Constitution is all God, guns, and flag waving patriotism and all that.
Exactly. The problem is that they're not that influential. Libertarian Party, we're the third biggest political party in the nation, but we are not in Illinois. We are the fourth. The Green Party whips our butts all the time because they have more supporters, they have more money. Although they're not nearly as organized. They've been thrown off of ballots before for not being organized. I don't know how the hell they didn't get anywhere. I thought they were going to blow us away in signatures. They got 10 grand less signatures. And I don't think it's because they don't have supporters. I simply think it's because their organization is pretty lousy. So
you know what? I think we should, next time around, we should, instead of doing a signature competition between different chapters of the Illinois Libertarians, we should have like a friendly like challenge with the Green Party to try to get the whole third party movement going.
We should, and we do support them. And by the way, as Brian Scott Lambrecht, chair of the DuPage Libertarians, I would like to mention that DuPage won the signature gathering contest this year, beating Fox Valley for the first time in like a decade.
Oh, wow.
Fox Valley's won it every year. So I want to do a little bit of bragging about this as a trophy that we're going to be unveiling at our next meeting, which is actually Thursday next week, July 19th. Up at the American Tap, 701 West Lake Street in Addison, Illinois, right off 355, right off the 290, right in between there. If anybody wants to come out and see the DuPage Libertarians, you're more than welcome to come out to our meeting. Social hour starts at 6 p.m., meeting starts at 7. We got a lot of fun stuff to cover. But our meeting is right in the middle of everything that's going on next week. So let me finish this little story. What is that? What is that?
That's a trophy.
Oh, for what?
I got it. It's a trophy. It's just stars. I got it for winning a trivia contest at my kid's school, and it's plastic. I think they got it from the Oriental Trading Catalog.
I won something like 2 years ago in my hometown Addison. It was called Addison Idol, like American Idol, and I'm like, I'll show up, and I brought my guitar, and it was all little kids. I'm like the one adult, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize. Well, no, we have they had adult categories for people of all ages, but no adults showed up. So I went on stage, sang Billy Idol, got a trophy because I was the only person that was there, and it's like, all right, this is ridiculous, and I went home. And so I've got a similar trophy that I'm very proud of.
There were only four people showed up to the trivia thing, and the table I was at won.
That's good.
But anyway, continue.
Let me get back, because this gets complicated. So,
sure.
So the three parties are competing, and we do take votes. We take more votes from Democrats than Republicans in Illinois because Illinois is flooded with so many Democrats. And as Libertarians, we agree with them on a lot of things. For example, we don't believe that same with the Green Party, we don't believe that corporations should be deciding our laws and lobbyists, influencing things. The Green Party agrees. The problem is the Green Party thinks that the problem is with the corporations, and they need to be shut down despite all those horrible things they do, like creating wealth and jobs. I like to actually hold the politicians accountable. The Green Party wants politicians to have more power. And when they have more power, that means they can sell more. So the Green Party philosophy is to give the politicians more power and to cut down the power of businesses. All that's going to do is mean that the businesses and corporations have to write bigger checks. That's not going to stop their mode. As Libertarians, we want to limit the power in the government. The people who are selling themselves, the people who are selling that what do I like to call it? The people who are selling anti-competition. Hey, you want me to write a law that helps eliminate your competition? Write a law that gives you an advantage? Sure, donate to my campaign, and I'll take care of that. That's a politician selling anti-competition. We're against that. I don't know how the Green Party misses it, but that's fine. But we support, and I don't even want to say gay marriage. I like to say equality rights, because that goes way further than just gay marriage. We support equality rights. We support immigration, particularly an open border system. We have to fix welfare and other kind of things first.
When it comes to immigration, did you hear my, it wasn't my last episode, but the episode before, detailing my interactions with the Border Patrol when we were on vacation in Arizona?
I read about it. I did get it to play, and I think that's when I saw it was 90 minutes. But I didn't listen to it. But I read your little review on it, and it sounded very interesting. And I've read a lot about that. I mean, it could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, for everyone listening, I believe that was episode 125. We didn't do a show last week. The week before, we had Mike Bowler on talking about
it was a few weeks ago.
And then the week before that, which is the week after we got back from Arizona, is the episode in question, and that was fun times. But As far as the challenges to the signatures go, now the way I understand it, they're trying, because of the way the number of signatures we collected, they're trying a different tact this time instead of going after individual signatures. Am I correct on that?
Well, it's a little different. They've done it before. It's just the rules have changed, so it looks a little bit different. And I'll get into this. So we've got the three parties, and they're all being challenged. At the hearing, the talk was pretty much the Green Party is probably not going to make it. The Constitution Party is probably not going to make it. We have a chance, and that's only because we brought in as many signatures as we did, and that was rough. So we're trying to see if we can push that through. Now, like I said, the rules changed, so everything happened short notice. We got a 3-4 day notice for our candidates to show up. The only one who was able to show up was Ben Coyle, our candidate for Attorney General, and he did his best to represent us, and we had some help. We had and Ben is, just so everybody knows, he's a lawyer, been working about 6, 7, 8 years privately now, which is a step above Lisa Madigan, who was never a lawyer and just kind of wound up in there because of her high qualifications as being like Lennon's daughter.
I got a story about Lisa Madigan to tell later.
Yeah, let me finish this train of thought. Anyway, he is a bankruptcy small business lawyer. He handles claims, things like that. He is not an election lawyer. It's just there's all these different realms of law to study. So he didn't entirely know what the process was or what he was getting into. There is a lawyer that was there that was helping us, and another guy that are working with us to help us get through this. They are Democrat operatives. They work for the Democrat Party. We don't trust them. We don't like working with them, but because this process is so fast and we weren't prepared for it because of the way things changed and the way things moved around, we kind of have no choice but to work to work with them. So they're helping us because Democrats want us on the ballot because they know we have a shot and they think we're going to take away votes from the Republicans. We're not. We're going to take away more from Democrats. We do. We have more in common with them than we do with Republicans.
Let me say one thing real quick about that statement, sure. Taking votes away. We're not taking votes away from anybody because those votes don't belong to those parties. The only thing that vote belongs to is the person casting it.
You are very right. People always say we steal votes, and I tend to talk that way too, but we do not steal votes. We earn those damn votes. We earn every damn one of them.
Exactly.
So, it's when you realize that Republicans and Democrats only needed 5,000 signatures, and we needed 25,000, and we brought in close to 45,000. You realize that we reach out to a lot more people, and a lot of people like our message. It's just people are weary of us because you guys can't win, you guys can't change anything. Well, no. Of course you can win. It's just people have to. If people want things to change, then they need to change the way they vote. And we're working on that.
They need to change the way they think, because I've heard a lot of people, I would vote for the Libertarian Party or this party or that party, but they don't have any chance of winning. If you can convince everybody who thinks along those lines to think differently, then we would win. It's the whole it's like herd mentality. It's a form of groupthink. Yeah. And I think that right there is the #1 challenge of the Libertarian Party.
As Gary Johnson said during his presidential campaign, people think that voting for Libertarian is a wasted vote. But if everybody wastes their vote on me, I'm the next president of the United States of America.
Yep. Or as I like to say, the only wasted vote is one not cast in a clear conscience.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've had enough conscious calling for a while. That's why I became a Libertarian. I think it's my 10-year anniversary of deciding I'm a Libertarian coming up this fall. I gotta look into that. Anyway,
it might be mine too.
That's good. Well, we can drink some iced tea together, Jim, and we can talk about this. We should. There's an episode
Cheers.
for you sometime in the fall. There's an episode. We can talk about what it was that made us change our minds. That's a whole other topic. But I mean, we're keep getting sidetracked again.
Yeah, so, I know. It's so easy to do.
It is. What I want to cover here is that, so the challenges are taking place this week. Like I said, it was short notice. We didn't know it was coming. 4 years ago, we had about 4 or 5 weeks to prepare. Now, what these guys did, and the people who officially challenged us, are 2 Republicans. They're up from Lake County. One guy's name, I think, is Gary Gale, and the other guy's name is something Atsaves. I can't remember, Richard Atsaves or something. Yeah. The two of them are the ones that, filed against us, filed complaints, and they went through all of our petitions, and they found signatures that they feel are not accurate, they're not valid, addresses that don't line up, entire rows of people that aren't registered to vote. And some of those very may well be it, but they said, well, we found 25,000. They did not find 25,000. Are you kidding me?
No way in hell.
So what they basically did is they went through all the pages and scribbled some X's on some things and wrote down their complaints. I mean, they worked really hard that week to get those. They had from Monday to Friday. They probably did nothing but 10, 12-hour days of going through those petitions. They probably got paid very well to do it.
And by the way, for anyone listening, even though we know the names of the people, and I know that they're on Facebook, do not go to their page and harass them. I will say this: if you go to the Lake County Republican Party page, you can leave a review, and leave a bad review. Don't harass them. Just leave a review, and be done with it. We don't want to give them any more ammunition against us as possible. But I think leaving them a 1-star review with a brief blurb about how they're abusing the system is totally justified. Anyway, that's just a side note.
And you were excellent when you did that. I saw that last week. You and I think Paul Clark from Will County did it as well. So
there was another person. I can't remember who off the top of my head.
A guy named Mike and I believe Henry. But I know Henry. Paul Clark.
Yes. Henry.
Paul Clark is the chair of the Will County branch, which is where you go at. You got to come to the meetings. I haven't seen you there lately.
No, I just haven't been having the time. My work shift and doctor's appointments and other issues have been kind of
about moving their meetings back to Monday nights once a week or once a month.
That would kick ass.
So they might be doing that again. But I'm not part of the party, so I don't know. But anyway, so we didn't get a lot of time. Last time we had 4 weeks to go through all of the signatures, the specific ones that they challenged, and do the research on our own, validate them. Oh, you guys think the name says, Smith, but it's actually Smythe, or whatever. We'll go through all of them one by one. We'll fix it, and we can convince them at the Board of Elections they're valid signatures. Now, they also try to do, they do this all the time. They do, as you brought up earlier, they try to get rid of big swaths of signatures all at once. For example, Brian Lambrecht doesn't live at the address that he puts it down. I allegedly reside in Addison at my address. Whatever. You know what? They're taking a stab that maybe nobody will defend it. If they can knock me off as being a fraudster or whatever, they're going to do it because I collected, by the way, for volunteers, I was the #1 petition gatherer in the state of Illinois this year. I gathered over 1,450. So just under 1,500 signatures I got. And then right behind me was our candidate for Lieutenant Governor, A.J. Cummings. He had like 960, and he actually helped out. He helped out some of the paid petitioners, so he probably got a little over 1,000 himself. But, we do really well. We're volunteers. We went out to parades, and as you know, as you've seen on my Facebook page and DuPage Libertarians on Facebook, every petitioning event that I went to, I took a picture. I saw that. And the reason why I did it wasn't because I was keeping records. It's to try to influence people. Hey, guys, it's not that hard to go to the train station for an hour and a half in the morning and do this. Do you know a parade that's coming up in a nearby town? Did you know a festival? I had fun with it. My wife and I went out and did plenty of these events. We had a blast. A lot of my friends came out to it. Taste of Wheaton, Taste of Glen Ellen, the River Fest. We had a few things going on down here in Morris, and I really wish I could have gotten out there, but home life and our situation here is it's just almost impossible to be able to devote the time, especially when you've got 3 kids and they're always doing this, that, and the other. And you got to drive them hither, thither, and yon. So you still turned some in. You still turned in some signatures.
Yes, and that was relatives and friends of the family. What happened was that at the what was it? It was Memorial Day. We had a cookout thingy like we always do at my brother's house, and they know I'm libertarian, and they're all pissed off with the system and the way things are going here in Illinois. And I found for me the thing that they were all willing to sign the petition because, I mean, it's me. I'm a friend, I'm family, But what really got them pissed off is when I told them about the hurdles that we had to go through to get on the ballot in the first place. And then that that pissed them off. So right now, I only got like 10 signatures, but, that's 10 more. That's 10 signatures I'm assured of next time around. All I got to do is work on getting 10 more next time around. And next petition drive, I want to do the show live from an event down here, and I figured out a way to do it, but it would require somebody to man my desktop or laptop computer while I go out with my cell phone. It's just the way that the Google Plus Hangouts on Air works. But it can be done, and I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it, probably do something else this year. But there you go. Anyway.
Well, in 2 years, we'll be having people run for representative, and we've got some new initiatives in the state party. We have a new person that's going to be stepping up to vice chair, and then, of course, our convention is in September. We're going to be electing some new officers. And we've got Jason Howard is looking for the vice chair position, and he's got an initiative that I share with him about pushing for libertarians in Illinois to run for every local office you can. Run for the library board, run for the PTA, run for something in your village, be a trustee. Simple things where you don't have to go over the major hurdles like you do on the county and, of course, the state level. So that's our big initiative. If somebody wants to run for an office in their town, come to us. We'll help you figure out the logistics. We'll help you get people to get you signatures. We'll help you organize, promote, campaign. That's what we do. It's what we're all about. All we need are good people that want to run for office.
I'm seriously considering running for office next time around, like county board or something, but I got all of these really weird skeletons in my closet. But I'm of the thing that, first of all, everybody does, and I don't deny that I have these skeletons. I'm not like one of these Republicans that gets caught in a bathroom in Idaho, like tapping somebody's other foot under the bathroom stall.
Yeah. Oh, we had a Democrat just a few months ago that got busted for child porn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his name because he hasn't been convicted yet. Oh, I got to tell you about that too. We have a game coming up called Name That Convict. Hold on. So the petition drive, the defense challenge. Let's get back.
Let's go. Let's talk about this. Yes.
Because I'll get through this, and then you're gonna love Name That Convict. So what's happening is next week we don't have a lot of time for this. Obviously, it's Saturday. We just found this out Monday. There were people Thursday and Friday that were still learning that the challenges start next week. They start Monday. They're going to be all 5 days next week. They might even run in the Saturday, and if there's a lot of them, it'll go Monday and Tuesday the following week. But we think we're just going to have it this week. Now, there's going to be 12 stations open at the State Board of Elections. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 12 stations. That means there will be 12 paid Republicans there and 12 employees of the State Board of Elections. So what's going to happen is a person from the State Board of Elections is going to be right in the middle, and we're going to have the Republican operative on one side. What we need on the other side is a Libertarian volunteer. And right now, I think on Monday, we've got 8 or 9 people, and then we got about 6 for every other day. And we've only got 2 more days to do this. We need people to come down to Springfield. I'm going to be there Monday, Tuesday, and probably Friday. I'm going to go with Matt Skopek on Monday, and then Matt Skopek's going to drive down with me on Tuesday with Jenny Floyd, who's secretary of the DuPage Libertarians, and then I'm probably going to head with my wife Claire on Friday. So we're going to put in 3 full days of work.
After the show's over, let me talk to you about that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't stay the whole show. I have to split at some point. I have work to do today. But write to me later. We'll talk about it. If anybody out there listening has a day off next week during the week, please consider coming to Springfield and helping us defend. It's not hard work. It's tedious. It's annoying, but it's not hard. And you can sit there and help us snag 50, 100, 150 signatures you can save for that day. And that's what we need, because of the 25, I believe it's 25,000 that they're challenging of our 44,000. We only need to save 6,000 or 7,000 of them to stay on the ballot. That's not hard. It's not impossible, but we need the people there. So if we only have 9 people on Monday, that means stations 10, 11, and 12 are going to have nobody defending it, and the Republican will get to throw off every signature they want. We can't let that happen. So, and that's what's killing us this time, is that they're trying to do that. They're also going to try to eliminate large swaths of people saying, they accused me, because I collected, 1,400, well, they want to eliminate all 1,400 of mine. So they're trying to say that Brian Lambrecht doesn't live at his address, that Brian forged these, that there's no way I could have gotten such a wide variety of signatures, as if we don't have cars and we don't...
They accused you of forging them?
Yes, and that's a serious... I mean, this is a federal offense. Now, nobody's charging me with a crime, personally, because how are you going to prove that? How are you going to prove that I forged these? I've got photos of me downtown in Pontiac at... Pontiac had a Route 66 festival several like a month and a half ago. I went down there with 3 other witnesses, Jason Kluss, Jason Howard, and Paul Clark from Will County. And we spent an entire day, about 6 or 7 hours out there in the sun. I got my ears sunburnt. And we collected hundreds and hundreds of signatures. Oh, well, there's no way that he could be in Pontiac and be in Chicago. Oh, yeah, because we don't have cars and the technology just doesn't exist, and that's just impossible. They can go to hell. I went to Bloomington with Jenny Floyd, and we stayed at a farmer's market right outside the border of a farmer's market and collected about 250 signatures over the course of 4 hours. And then I went in the farmer's market and bought some peaches. It was great. And a great iced tea plate. There's like several coffee tea houses in Bloomington and Normal, Illinois, let me tell you. But the point is that it's very possible to do these things. And I watched every signature. I talked to everybody. And there's people in the party, for example, Ken Prazak. He went out and collected over 800 signatures in 2 days. He's fast. He can do that. Another guy, Bill Redpath, collected 650 in 4 days. Now, I collected more. I collected 1,450, but I started on March 25th. I don't show up to a festival and petition for 12 hours. I can't do that. I'm bored after 2. I can't handle that.
Bet.
But I like to get up in the morning at 6:30, go to the train station, and petition from 6:45, 7 o'clock until about 8:30. And you can get a ton of people all going to the train station. They're standing around. They're bored at a parade. Hey, the parade's going to start. For 40 minutes before the parade starts, people are lined up in their chairs. They're having a drink. They're snacking on food. Kids are lining up. They're getting anxious. They're waiting for the parade to start. Claire and I walk down that route, snag a couple hundred signatures right like that. That's 40 minutes. Then you go home. I like to go and do things in little pieces over the 90 days. I have fun with it. I make an adventure out of it, and I share it online for other people to try to get involved.
Real quick. I forgot to mention this earlier in the show. We do have the the Q&A app open on Google+. So if you got any questions for me or Brian, go ahead and type them in. We'll address them. And we're in the chat room at radiofubar.com. Let me look here. I got my document up here with all of my notes, I think. Here it is.
Other questions? Are people asking questions?
No, not yet, but I forgot to notify them that the Q&A is on. Let's see. Okay. And I'm also following our Twitter. Our Twitter is @TheSideProject2. So there you go. Anyway, continue.
Anyway. So yeah, so what's going to happen next week is we're going to be there at the State Board of Elections, and we need people to fill up those spaces to help us defend the signatures. If you have a day off next week, come down there. If you have 2 days off, there's a campground that's maybe 15 minutes from the State Board of Elections. I was going to camp for a few days next week, but nobody else was willing to come with me and camp. I was actually going to stay Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but I need to go to work too, so I'm trying to at least get 2 days of work next week. I don't want to take too much time off, but we need people to come down there for a day. Road trip. Grab 1 or 2 friends that have the same day off. Go down there. Bring a retired relative who's got time, and all you got to do is sit in a chair and say, I object, and help look through the signatures. What does this name look like to you? Maybe you're better at reading somebody's handwriting than somebody else. Because the Republican's going to say, that doesn't look like that. That's fake. Well, because they don't want to put up a fight. They want them all to get. They want them all to get just washed up and be gone. Well, no, we can put up a fight for that. We can work with them. And as long as we're friendly and we're courteous and we get along with the State Board of Election employees, they will work with us. There were some very bitter, angry Constitution Party people last time, and they were mean and rude, and they got thrown off by 15 signatures. They were 15 signatures under the 25,000 mark. That's what happens when you're a rude jerk. We're not going to be rude jerks. We're going to be nice people, and we're going to be pleasant. You know what? They're just employees doing their job. So as long as you go there and you're willing to work with them, they'll be willing to work with you. And we can have, try to have fun with this. Make an event out of it all week, and hopefully by the following week we'll be able to celebrate, and then we'll have our candidates that we can finally actually begin raising money and campaigning, because the Republicans and Democrats have been raising money since October, November last year when they started. And then, of course, they had their primaries in, February? So they're having their primaries in February. They're raising money February, March, April, May, June, July. We don't even get to start until August for our campaign.
And this is the thing that really, really pisses me off about this whole process, is the fact that we're wasting money, focusing on these petition challenges. Now, even if, what did you say, it was Ben Coyle?
Yeah.
Ben
Our
Coyle.
candidate.
Yeah, he's a lawyer by trade, and whether he's donating the time or let's say he's donating the time, that's time he's not at his own practice, so that's costing us money in a roundabout way, and this is all less money that we can have to spread our message, to endorse our candidates.
And taxpayers have to pay for this process, too, for the State Board of Elections.
Yeah, they should be the ones that are pissed about this. And I could go on real quick. The whole campaign finance reform thing says individuals can only donate like $2,300 to a candidate or whatever, and that's nothing for Democrats and Republicans. They got all of these politicians and celebrities and blah 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 blah. It hurts the third parties because we might have a Drew Carey and a Penn Jillette, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they've got all the Hollywood's elites.
They've got a budget to spend to send 12 bozos in suits down there to try to fight to get rid of us, and they're getting paid. We have to have volunteers to do this. That's not an easy feat to do. So my main call on your show is to get people to come down to Springfield. If you don't know what's going on, write to us. Reach out to lp.org. Write to us at the DuPage Libertarians on Facebook. We'll give you details. We have a schedule. Let us know what your time is. We can send you all the information. We just really need help. Jim, if you can do it, come down there. You can be helpful. Anybody that can jump in and do this, anybody who's got time. It's a bit of a trip for people in Chicago, but anybody in the rest of the state, is more than helpful because we don't have a lot of. We weren't given 4 weeks of prep time, so we can't prep the challenges, much less organize people to be down there. So we're going in there a little bit blind, and we're going in there without enough people. So that's our big hectic issue that we've got to face, and it sucks. But that's part of being a third candidate. And we do have a lawsuit with the state of Illinois. We had a press conference a few weeks ago down in Springfield when we turned in the petition. That was 2 weeks ago. And we talked about our lawsuit. It is a lawsuit against Illinois to change ballot access laws. We had 3 issues of contention that we brought up, and the courts already threw out the one, and it was kind of our fault, saying that the number of signatures we have to gather is too much. Well, we were very vague on that. We should have been more specific of what the requirement should be. They threw that one out. But the other 2 requirements are very big. One is we need more time, not just a 90-day period, but more time to gather signatures and to have, from March to June, have it pushed back so we can start campaigning sooner, have it start in, I don't know, January or even November or December the year before, so we have time to campaign. And the other issue, and this is the big one, you mentioned saying you'd like to run for county board. You can't. You cannot run for county board unless you have a full slate. If you want to run for sheriff, you can't unless you got somebody to run for clerk and somebody to run for coroner and every other position that county has. That's the way it's written. We cannot just put up somebody for governor, lieutenant governor, and comptroller. We have to have a treasurer, a secretary of state, a U.S. senator if it's open that year, attorney general. You get the idea. We have to fill the whole slate. And you have to do that on the county level, too. Well, Julie Fox decided to do this about 2.5 years ago in Kane County. They refused because you don't have anybody for the full slate, so they filed a lawsuit. It's gone through, it's in its 3rd judge right now. It started in county court, went to state court. Now it's in a federal court, which is good. It's just dragging itself out. It's us versus Lisa Madigan, and she don't really want to change those laws because they like not having competition.
It occurs to me that when I go to the ballot box when I go to vote, there are a lot of uncontested races where there's only just either a Democrat or a Republican, so they're not running full slates.
Because they're a full party. It's only for third-party candidates. Republicans, if they don't many times Republicans look at Jesse White and they think, he's a fine Secretary of State, nobody's really angry at him, it's not worth putting up a candidate this year. They're not going. I think this year they've got somebody, but usually they don't care. It's not worth it, so they won't run somebody. So Jesse White goes uncontested, or unopposed, I should say, for his election. Republicans can do that if they want to take all of their money and sink it in just the sheriff candidate in a county or whatever they want, or if they just want to focus on 3 of the statewide races and they just say, hey, we're not going to waste money on that. They can. We can't do that. We must have somebody on every spot of the slate. That's unfair. Why can't a person just say, I want to run for this office without having to join a gang of 4, 5, 6, 7 other people to do it with? It makes it very, very hard. So we are trying to change that law as well, and that's all part of our lawsuit. It's just sitting in federal court right now. It got moved there just a few months ago, I think in May. And by the way, about that lawsuit, that's important. I did a 2-hour radio show with A.J. Signeri. He's a Green Party guy. He calls himself a socio-anarchist. He's a really good guy. I like him. When I first met him, he had a T-shirt with, Che Guevara on it. I can't relate to those people. I can't.
I used to have a Che Guevara shirt where he was wearing Mickey Mouse ears. So
I've seen that one. Actually, Weird Al is kind of playing off that now with his Mandatory Fun album.
I know. I'm loving that.
I thought it was
so
kind
anyway,
of funny.
continue.
But so I mean, and I like AJ. He's a really great guy, but he calls himself a social anarchist. He's a very extreme socialist, and him and I got into a very heated battle, and we're very respectful of each other. I really like him. He has good opinions. He's not a dumb guy. He's not an angry guy. He's a very happy, well-educated person. He can articulate his arguments very well. The thing is we had a big fight about the difference between socialism and capitalism, and one of our contentions is for example, bailing out a business, bailing out a bank. He attributes that to capitalism. That's not capitalism. I attribute that to socialism. When the government is working with a corporation, with a business, and they're giving them money, that's socialism. But he doesn't see it that way because, well, the people didn't make that decision. Well, yeah, they did. The people elected government officers and government people did this. That's not capitalism. It may
technically, you can't blame it. Technically, I don't think you can blame it on either of them because we are not a capitalist society. We are not a socialist society. We're somewhere in the middle.
We haven't been a capitalist society in a long time.
It's corporatism. It's mercantilism.
It is, but you still can't attribute. He puts the blame on capitalism because it's purely for profit, and I'm saying no. It's only for profit in a free market. That's not a free market, and socialism is not a free market. Socialism depends on other people to make these things. He supports bank bailouts, but he doesn't support them because he doesn't specifically support that decision, but he supports the process that makes it possible. Well,
I voted against the Iraq war before I voted for it, or whatever John Kerry said.
It's like, oh, well, I support the government having a ton of power to do whatever they want until it does something I don't like. No, you can't have it that way. So him and I went against this, and the reason why I'm bringing up AJ Signeri's radio show is because he's a really good guy. I like him. I hope to do a show again in the future a few more times. We've had some discussions. Is that he's a Green Party guy, and I had told him that this lawsuit, we reached out to the Constitution Party and to the Green Party to say, hey, form a coalition with us. You guys have lawyers, you guys have good people, you guys have resources, you guys have money. Join with us in this lawsuit and help us change this. They both turned us down. And AJ was upset about this. He's like, I don't know why we're not part of that lawsuit. I'm like, you should be. And all he can say is, you know what? It depends who was running the Green Party that year and who said what to who in an email. You know, it gets lost in the minutia of all that. So, but the Constitution Party and the Green Party should be working with us on this. They're not, but we're libertarians. Guess what? We fight battles alone quite often. So that's why we're doing what we're doing.
That puzzles me because I brought up the suggestion a while back that when it comes to ballot access and other things of that sort. Us and the Libertarians, us and the Greens and the Constitution Party should be working together, and I think it would be kind of cool if all three of our parties got together to do ballot do signatures on the petitions, just swamp a whole area or whatever.
Well, we can't do that because we can't.
Oh, because we can't have someone sign one petition for one party and then one for the other.
We chased them both away. We've been collecting signatures since March 25th, when the first day it was legal to collect signatures. Like I said, these other two groups, they're not organized. And I mean, my heart is with them, but they didn't start going out collecting signatures until the end of May and June. So I'm going to all these events, and I'm going around with a clipboard with a couple friends, different people making events. We're going out doing that. Suddenly I show up at Elk Grove for the Elk Grove Rotary Fest, and they had a parade, and there was a race. There was a 5K race going on. And Jason Howard and I and a couple other friends showed up, and we started at the beginning of the parade route and marched all the way down to the end collecting signatures, because that way when the parade starts, we're already a little bit ahead of them. Well, the Constitution Party and the Green Party, including the Green Party's governor candidate, I believe Scott Summers was there. And I didn't know his name was Scott Summers because I thought that was Cyclops. But I guess Cyclops is running for governor in Illinois. But he was there himself, I believe he was there. And they were collecting signatures, and they ran into each other, and they realized, oh, crap, we can't collect the same signatures you're collecting. So they realized they can't do that at the same event, and they both decide to go to the parade, and there they are at the end of the parade collecting signatures, and who comes marching all the way down? Jason and I'm like, we hit everybody along this route. You guys are way too late. You guys missed everything. And they were pissed. And it's like, well, you know what? You guys need to get up a little bit earlier. You guys should have started this sooner. You guys should have had the 40,000 signatures. I don't know how organized the Constitution Party is, but I know the Green Party's organized. I know they've got they've got very loyal supporters. They were actually in the Pride Parade, which we wanted to get into, but and again, they were very well organized for the Pride Parade, not organized in their petitioning. We were the reverse. We were very organized in our petitioning, but we missed out on the Pride Parade and other events that we should have got into. I mean, that's the problem with being a third party. You've only got so many resources and so much money to focus on a bunch of things. I would have loved to have marched in the Pride Parade in Chicago, but the planning and everything dovetailed with petition gathering, and it's more important to get those signatures to get on the ballot. You got to prioritize. It's really, really hard. And we shouldn't have to do that. The Green Party, the Constitution Party, you know, any other party that wants to do that shouldn't have to be put under that gun, shouldn't have to make that hard choice of, you know, are we going to do an outreach event or not? You know, we marched in Itasca on Memorial Day because it was easy and it was quick, and we marched in Downers Grove for Independence Day because it was easy, quick, and it was Ben Coyle's hometown. And I'm like, well, let's, you know, otherwise I would have done for Chris in Romeoville, in his hometown. Whatever. I was trying to, you know, I mean, I'm looking for towns in DuPage that I can march in. So, which, by the way, Jim, we are going to be looking at that Corn Fest that you sent me. I think it's in Morris.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm looking into Corn Fest. I believe there's another one out in DeKalb later in the year, and then there's a pumpkin.
I think they have I think they also have a corn festival now that I think about it.
That's what I've heard, but I don't know. I only know about the one you brought up. And there's a pumpkin fest that's going on in Sycamore in October. So I'm going to try to get DuPage Libertarians out there. Will County's probably going to join us. Maybe Fox Valley, and then we'll have as many candidates as we can at these things. Because they're fun. They're fun outreach events to do. And now that we're not collecting signatures anymore, it's pretty good stuff. But everything is in the balance now, and none of it matters until we get confirmed on the ballot. And by the way, as much as I hate to say that the Green Party and Constitution Party won't make it, if they don't make it and we do, that means there's only 3 candidates. That means we have a good chance of breaking 5% on the ballot. And it's always hard for the governor to get it. The governor's the one that we need in order to change the rules for us 4 years down the road. But Julie Fox for comptroller, Chris Michael for Secretary of State, Ben Coyle as Attorney General, they've been going out and doing a lot of events, and they've been meeting a lot of people. There's a good chance we can get 1 or 2 candidates to break 5%. Maybe even more than that. We're a lot better organized this year. So we need people to help us this next week. That's what it's all about. So so Jim, after this radio show, if you know people online you can email, or people you can phone call, people that live down there, other libertarians you know that may not even be aware that this is going on. People didn't know. They still don't know because it's such short notice. We just found out Monday. It's already Saturday, and it's still kind of percolating online. The information. Please, and any of your listeners that are watching or listening right now, anybody, if you can't do it, find somebody who can, because this is really the put up or shut up time where they, after all of our hard work, they could kill us and they could knock us off the ballot. We are not going to let that happen, but we still need more people to help out. So that's my whole purpose to coming on your show today, Jim.
That's totally fine, and in fact, I've been actually considering it, but they've totally like screwed over the vacation days and all of that at my job, and I need a new job. Email me. I have a resume, and but I'm going to definitely look to see about seeing if I can get down there this coming Friday. I'm not going to have a whole lot to spend, but for lunch and crap. But but if anyone's coming through Morris or whatever, I'll.
Jim, I can probably find somebody that'll buy you lunch. If you're coming down there, somebody will probably buy you lunch and dinner or something.
Sweet. I might be able to.
It's a 3-hour drive, and by the way, you can if you want to carpool with me and Claire. Like, if you want to drive over to meet me, park your car along 55, I can get off and pick you up, and you can car. That way, you'll save. I mean, you can pitch in $10 for gas if you got it, but either way, come with us. It's more worth it to have you there.
There's a park and ride lot at Interstate 55 and US 52, and Interstate 55 and US 30. Yeah, or if you want to avoid the traffic on Interstate 55 at the Des Plaines River, you'll be coming through Morris anyway. You can wait upwards of 45 minutes to an hour at that construction site, and I am not making that up. So,
no, but anyway, it is bad, but we do have to get there. We have to. It's almost a 3-hour trip. We got to be there about 8:30, so we're probably going to be leaving at 5:30. Traffic's not bad at 5:30 in the morning, but it's going to suck on the way back at 7 o'clock at night, and I know how to cheat to get around that.
That is true. But so at any rate, one question I had is in the lawsuits on the petitions, has my name come up at all?
No, I haven't seen it. I don't think so because you only don't take this the wrong way, but you're not big fish. They don't
Yeah.
care about. No, they want to go after me, who got 1,400. They're going after Ken Prazak, who got 850. AJ, who got 960. Paul Clark only got a couple. He turned like maybe 300, and his name was on the list. Probably Jason Howard. I think he got 300. They're going after all the and a lot of the paid petitioners. They're going after the biggest ones because if they can prove you're fraud or you're fake, all of your signatures are thrown out all at once, and that's easy pickings for them to knock off.
Hey, by the way, thinking of which, how is Jonathan Parker faring? He's the candidate from the Minooka New Lenox area.
Not doing. He's off.
He's off the ballot.
If you look on DuPage Libertarians, I just posted a meme about it last night. Well, kind of. I posted a picture of him. He collected 700 signatures. He needed, I think, 2,600. 2,600 is a lot. He needed 700. You know how many the guy, I think there's a Republican in that position right now. You know how many he had to collect? 500. So the guy who's in the position now collected less signatures than Jonathan Parker, and they won't even let him on the ballot because he only got 700. They threw him out at the hearing last week. He showed up. He was there. We saw him there, and he couldn't even get representation. He was a little bit upset because the Libertarian Party, nobody represented him. Ben and I were on our own. I'm not a lawyer, so Ben could only represent us. And like I said, the Democrat opponents are trying to help us. Well, they don't want to help him. He's not worth it. He didn't even have enough signatures. He was being challenged. He got thrown off right away. So we felt bad. I mean, he put up a good effort, but there's only so much you can really do to help someone out, you know. And I'm trying to convince him. He's a little bit burnt out now too because it was a lot of work. All that work to not even get on the ballot. But like I said, there's openings in the state party. He's a good speaker. He's a good writer. He's a good guy. I think he should be looking forward. And there's a convention coming up for anybody else watching. The convention is going to be in September. I think September 24th through the 26th. It's going to be in Bolingbrook.
No, it's in Bolingbrook. It's like 1 mile from where I work, and the last I heard it is September 12th, which is the day after my birthday.
Is it the 12th? Oh, maybe it's the 12th to the 14th.
Yeah, it's my birthday weekend.
Okay, I don't remember the exact date. I'm still going through it myself, but I've never been to a convention before either. This will be my first one that I'm attending. So, but we're gonna have seats open for people if anybody's interested. I have a list of a lot of the openings. The chair position is gonna be open for a vote, but you know, Matt Skopek may decide to run again. If Jason Howard decides to go for it, he'll be in the running. I even heard Lex Green may decide, but I don't know. Right now, he's the political division director. He's very good at that. We don't know. We're not sure who's going to want to run for what positions because they all require a certain level of work. I personally avoid the state party. I like to be a punk in DuPage. I can get away with things here that in the state party I have to get approvals and votes and all these things. Screw that. I can do anything I want as a punk in DuPage. So I like being the chair. Come out to the DuPage party, guys. We have a lot of fun and we get a lot of things done. So, but we got the thing is the state party has been plagued with some pretty ineffective people in recent years, and that's changing. We've got a lot better people this last year. It's a lot more fun, and we're getting better people to get in there and help change it, not just to have fun with it, to make it more active. Make it more, you know, there's something called activism, and then there's something that I call slacktivism. Now, I've got nothing wrong with people that go on Facebook and they share memes all day. That's fine. It's great if your way to fight for liberty is to go there with a mouse and to, you know, click, click, click. That's slacktivism.
Exactly.
Activism is showing up to a meeting, participating in a debate, showing up at a parade and carrying a sign, showing up at a booth and talking to potential voters for 4 hours at a time, or showing up to vote, showing up to rallies that we're doing, any other kind of event that we've got, calling people and trying to raise money for candidates, joining them at campaign fundraisers. I know Sharon Hansen has one coming up on August 5th at a steakhouse. I don't know the details. It's expensive, but it's a steakhouse fundraiser dinner for her to raise some money, and you know she'll speak and whatnot. And then of course there's plenty of outreach events. The DuPage Libertarians are doing the DuPage County Fair in Wheaton. Maybe I should ask you, Jim, while I've got you here. We're doing the DuPage County Fair in Wheaton. It's Wednesday, July 23rd through Sunday, July 27th. So it's 5 days, and we're going to have at least 2 volunteers and a candidate. Our goal is to get a candidate there during every shift. And they're 4-hour shifts because it runs from 10 in the morning till 10 at night. So 10 to 2 p.m., 2 to 6, and then 6 to 10 p.m. at night. And we've got a couple shifts that are open. I'll send you some openings later on if you want to. I mean, if you can drive out to Wheaton for a 4-hour shift, if you've got a day off, or you're working like a morning shift or whatever, if you want to come out, we're going to have a monitor set up. We're going to have some fun things. Oh, and we got a game. Name that convict.
Yes. You mentioned that earlier.
Yes. We're going to have a big board set up, and it's going to have 6 Illinois politicians' faces on them, and all of them have been convicted and served prison time. And the idea, we're going to have little forms, and the idea is, can you name the convict? Now, a lot of us know the big ones who've recently gone there. There's a lot whose names we haven't heard in a while. There's some that go back to I think the 70s in Illinois. So some of them are more obscure than others, but the idea is fill out the form, name as many as you can. We're only going to have 6. We're not having that many. And we're going to go through, and we're going to randomly pick 3 people who guess the most. Nobody may guess all 6. We may only have people who guess 4 or 5, but we're going to pull them out, and then a couple weeks later, we're going to contact them. We're giving away we have prizes, and right now it looks like, okay, I haven't told this to anybody. It's supposed to be a surprise, so this is exclusive to you. But yeah.
No. I was trying to make some sort of a
theme.
Yeah, some sort of a theme. Yeah.
We've
there we go.
You know the Libertarian the porcupine logo?
Yes.
We're gonna make some little stuffed animals of that porcupine logo.
Sweet.
We're gonna try it. If you pay attention to the DuPage Libertarians on Facebook, I'm gonna post a picture later of all the materials with some scissors and glue, and like the sewing machine. What are the DuPage Libertarians up to now? You'll know what it is, but I'm not telling anybody else. But we're gonna try to make maybe a dozen of these things or so, and we're gonna sell them for 20, 30 bucks each for donate, because I mean it's a lot of hard work to make these things, and the material costs a few bucks. But we're gonna sell them for donations, and we're gonna give 3 of them away to anybody who plays Name the Illinois Convict. So
sweet.
It's going to be fun, so brush up on your politicians when you come out there. And we need people to also fill the slots. It looks like we're pretty much filled up. I think there's like a Monday afternoon. No, I'm sorry, not Monday. I think Wednesday the 23rd, and then Friday the 25th in the afternoon from 2 to 6 p.m. I think those are some open shifts. And we might even have an open shift on Saturday morning. I'll send you the open shifts. If you can't do it, it's no big deal. But if you want to come out for 4 hours and hang out with DuPage Libertarians and talk to people, Jim, you're invited. You're a Will County guy. Paul Clark and Jason Howard and Andrew Ford, all from Will County, are going to be filling some shifts for us. And in return, we're going to help fill a couple shifts for them, because the next week is the Fox Valley one at McHenry County, and then Will County has theirs, I believe, at the end of August. So everybody's got their county fair, and we all work together. I mean, we compete for signatures, but we're all on the same team. So we all work each other's ones. You'll probably even work some of the Will County ones. But if you can come out for DuPage, by all means, Jim, come out and hang out with us for a few hours.
Mike Bowler of the a friend of the show and one of the hosts of Irreverent Skeptics, A Skeptic's Guide to Conspiracy, and the Bitch Spot Report, which is a conservative atheist podcast. He just said, could you get me some information on what you guys need? I can make an announcement on the Irreverent Skeptics, and I think they go live today on Google Hangouts at noon, I believe.
Sure.
And so he would like to announce stuff for what we need on their show.
Can you send me his information and I'll send him an email?
Yeah. Hey, Mike, respond in the Q&A with your email address that he can send some stuff to you.
Okay, I gotta get.
You know what? I think I have it on my Gmail. Hold on, give me just one second here.
Write it down, because I mean I'm not anywhere and I gotta get out of here soon. What time does this podcast go on?
I think it starts at noon.
Okay. As soon as I pull away from the show, I'll send him some information, because we need the help, and tell him I appreciate it. Can he hear me now? Is he listening to the show?
Yeah, he's listening.
And what's his name?
Mike Bowler, Bohler. If you give me just one second, I can pull up his email address now that I think about it.
Mike,
because
thank you from the bottom of Brian Lambrecht's heart, chair of the DuPage Libertarian. Thank you.
Okay, here we are.
Our information. I appreciate it.
You know what? I'm going to send you his email address in a chat, because I don't want it out to the general public.
Sure. Send it to me on Facebook. Send it to me on can you get the Facebook right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just send me a private message on Facebook, and then I'll email him in, like, I don't know, as soon as this is over. I'll send him an email with some basic information of what we need help with is the DuPage County Fair, and specifically next week in Springfield is the big thing. Oh, and I do have something else fun that's kind of going on that you could jump in on as well.
Yeah.
And by the way, all of these fun things were supposed to be fun. This stupid challenge thing is throwing us off in the middle of it because it came at the last minute. None of us were able to prepare. The DuPage Libertarians are meeting this Thursday. Well, I have to, I'd be in Springfield. I got to be here for my DuPage Libertarians meeting. And it's also the first night of the Silent Film Society Summer Festival in Chicago. It's usually on Fridays. It's on Thursdays this year at the Pickwick. It starts this Thursday for 6 Thursdays in a row at the Pickwick Theater in Park Ridge. I'm pissed because I love going to the Silent Film Festival every year. I can't do it. It's a W.C. Fields movie tomorrow night or Thursday night. And I gotta do my meeting, but that's because I'm dedicated, so I will be there. So yeah, the DuPage Libertarians are meeting. You can look us up on DuPageLibertarians.org or DuPage Libertarians on Facebook. We meet at the American Tap at 701 West Lake Street in Addison, Illinois. Social hour starts at 6. Meeting starts at 7. That's Thursday next week, July 19th or July 17th. 2 days later on July 19th at the American Tap, the same address. Oh. We're going to be hosting our third candidate workshop, and this isn't really open to the public. It's more open to members, but you're a member, Jim, so I'll tell you and anybody else who's watching. Our candidates are going to show up, and we won't even know by then if they're going to officially be on the ballot, but we can't wait. We're going to be setting up a green screen, and I'm bringing out my camcorder, and we are going to film as many 30-second ads with as many of the candidates as possible. So we're going to try to get 3, 4, 5, 6 ads per candidate. We're hoping all 7 of them will come out there. And a bunch of other libertarians are coming around just to split up in groups and help come up with the best issues, the best way to say things, the best phrasing, the best way to market these candidates. And then have them come in one at a time, do a 30-second ad, go out and work on their next one while the other candidate comes in. And that way they're coming in, going out, they're recording, we're getting material made, and then Jenny and I can edit it over the next 2 weeks. And then August, September, and October we can pump out the airwaves with fresh material from all of our candidates up until the election in November. Even if for some horribly awful reason we don't make it on the ballot, it's a great learning experience. We're going to benefit from it. But screw it, we're going to make it on the ballot. So
I have a feeling that we're safe, but that doesn't mean that people shouldn't show up and help out down in Springfield if they can.
It's not a sure thing. That's the problem. 6,000 to 7,000 signatures is what we have to save out of the 25. But it's still rough, and we don't know. And like I said, it's really bad when there's 9 of us there watching 3 other stations where signatures are just getting thrown out while we're trying to defend the ones we can keep. We may finish this and get it all wrapped up in 2 or 3 days. We may drag on till the next week. We may not win. We don't know, because in previous years we've had 4 weeks to prepare. We've got nothing. We're going in blind. So it's a lot harder. It's easy to go down there and defend the signatures. If you've never done it before, we'll teach you how to do it. It's pretty easy, and after a few minutes of doing the process, you'll figure it out. I've never done it, but I understand what's going to happen, and it's going to be a learning curve for me. But just having warm bodies in those seats, as opposed to the dead ones that vote in Chicago, just having warm bodies down there in Springfield would it'd be really helpful. And by the way, if you've ever wanted to participate in real activism, you could do nothing for the Libertarian Party for 4 years and come out and do 1 day at this, and you've more than made up for your inactivity. This is the important points to come out and do things. If you've never donated money, you've never come to a meeting, you've never done a single thing, you've never posted a meme, you've never liked the message, you've never shared anything, this is the one thing you could do. Come out for 1 day, put in 8 hours of it, and you're cleared for 4 more years until we need you to do it again, unless the law changes, which is very possible.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Alrighty, and real quick, do we have any plans? Does the Illinois LP, as far as you're aware, have any plans to do anything should we get knocked off the ballot, as far as challenging like through a lawsuit or anything?
I don't know, because we already have an outstanding lawsuit. It's taken 2.5. It's far along, but it took 2.5 years to get this far along. I don't know if they're going to want to file another one. I really don't know, because everybody's operating on the idea. It's not the greatest strategy. It's very ostrich-like, head in the sand. It's like, we're just going to go forward as though we are going to make it, but we're plowing ahead. So I don't know what a contingency plan would be. I know what mine is. As the chair of DuPage, I've been saying for months that I want to grow the party in the state of Illinois, and specifically in my chapter, DuPage. I want to do a lot of things. Every chapter, in the last 7, 8, 9 years, the only chapter that was doing parades was Fox Valley, and they were doing two. They were doing Memorial Day and Independence Day. Well, all right, I'm the chair of DuPage. We did Memorial Day and Independence Day, and I want to do 3 more, and I want Will County to do more, and I want to see what Metro East and Bonn Lafayette and the Chicago chapter, the Chicago LP. I want to help everybody get more active and help them find ways to do that. So we're trying to get everybody to be more active and to grow the party and bring more people and do more outreach events. We haven't been doing
even
that.
in non-election years.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It's better to do it in a non-election year.
Constantly. We want to be in the back of everybody's mind, and right now the LP, I would say, not only on the state level but even the national level, this is something that we have yet to really do effectively, and I think that's one of the big failings. The only people that know about us are the people that are trying to get us off the ballot, and that's pretty sad.
Yeah, and that's why I want to do more of these outreach events. So my plan was, as soon as the election is over, starting in November, I've got a 2-year initiative to, 1, get people to start running for local office, and 2, to grow the party, to build things up, to make us more powerful, more strong, more independent, more able to handle things, and reach more people, and double, triple, quadruple our membership. It's not hard. It's not impossible. People, 1, don't know we exist, and 2, if we do exist, they don't think we're active or that we're doing anything. We need to change that, and that's my plan. So the way I've told people this, I said, hey, you know what? My big plan is to start my 2-year initiative in November for outreach and growing the party. And if we get thrown off the ballot, I'm starting my program 3 months early. Hell, it'll be August that I'm going to start my outreach program. I ain't going to quit. So that's my contingency plan, but I don't know what the state has legality-wise.
Well, I've got this podcast, and we've got some irons in the fire regarding this show that will get us hopefully to a wider audience. And I'm gonna do what I can here. I'm thinking about taking the show away from being all political all the time and to do more like entertaining and funny stuff, but it's hard. It's always going to be libertarian.
You're very entertaining. I watched you and Lex Zorin debate over your favorite Bond villains one episode. And I'm like, what the? I mean, it was a funny episode, but I'm sitting there going, what the hell am I watching? And it went on for like 20-some-odd minutes. I turned it up, and I was doing laundry in the room, and I had your show on, and I'm like, libertarian politics. You've never seen Goldfinger? And I'm like, where's this going? So, who cares? It's fun.
Now, speaking of which, I need to pop that in my DVD player at some point today. But at any rate, we're coming up to the end of the show here, and you said you got things to do anyway. It's amazing how 90 minutes can fly by, especially when you're talking about something you're passionate about.
I wasn't supposed to do this show, but you're a sexy bitch, and it just kind of, time just flew.
In a few weeks, I won't be able to do that sort of thing. But hey, as always, it's great having you on the show. Come on anytime you like, and except when we're not doing the show, which sadly does happen from time to time. But hey, and once again, I'd like to thank you. And for people that want to contact us, our email address is thesideproject2@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @thesideproject2. If you got anything about the show you want to post or whatever, spread our word or whatever, you can use the hashtag TSP Live. We do have a Google Voice number that was really unused, but since it's free, hey, I'm going to keep pimping it, which really there's not much difference between pumping and pimping. 815-200-4912. And once again, I'd like to thank some of our local businesses here in Morris for allowing me to put up flyers. That's Ron's Pork Shack. They're out right out Route 6, and they have the most awesome barbecue pork, and they got some really good hot barbecue sauce there. And and people that know me know I love hot, spicy food. I got several bottles of ghost pepper sauce around here. The Big Art Store here in Morris, which I got to get up there and put up a new sign because it's one of the most popular community boards in the area, and things are getting pulled down all the time. The Morris Pancake House and Diner, which a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago, I went in there and found my sign was hidden by somebody posting invitations to the local Mormon church.
They found you.
I rearranged things, and I got to get a new sign out to Morse PC Solutions because they did move, but they're good people, and in fact, if you go to their website, they actually have a testimonial about their services that was written by me. So there you go, and there you go. So we'll be on again next week. We do have planned a couple of guests. We got Cephas and Mike from the Bitch Spot Report coming in. And just to talk about conservatism, I guess, and yeah, going from there. So once again, thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to Brian Scott Lambrecht. Thanks to Eric. Sorry, things didn't work out with you today, Eric. Sometimes that's the way it goes. And good luck to Lec Zorn on his. He was out today because he is trying out for a movie. He's auditioning, him and his daughter. So there you go. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Take care, Jim.
Take care. Now I got to stop broadcasting.